Hey everybody, it's Rich Soderquist from Real Sweet Outdoors. In this series, we're taking a look at the Old Town AutoPilot 136 and doing an ultimate motorized kayak build. In episode 1, we're looking at the Garmin Echomap 93SV with the transducer installation. Come along and join me as we detail this out. There's a lot of really nice hacks. Hope you like the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Okay, so the hull on these 136 are awesome. What do they look like? And the reason we're upside down is for that little jewel right there to put our transducer in. That's the transducer mount. I'm going to pop that baby off. That's what it looks like where the motor goes. All the scupper holes. That's what the ship looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so the screws are out. One of the things I was prepared for on this build is the fact that most of your larger transducers sit up too high and will smash. It's kind of a, I won't say it's a bad design, but in order to get it lower than the scraper there, you're going to have to do a little bit of modification. So for myself, I was using one of the mounts that came with the Garmin, and I've just modified it. Alright, so I'm finishing up this transducer mount, and I'd heard a lot about this being kind of hard to mount and get flush or below the front of the kayak. A lot of people are worried about their transducer, and rightfully so. I had to trim my mount. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I've actually dremelled off half of it to get it to fit. We'll see how it mounts up. It should be pretty straightforward. We'll give you an idea. It'll be just below flush probably. Alright, to give you an idea how close this really is, it's almost level basically. I'm not real happy with that, but that's just the way it is. That's where this mount is. You're going to have to mess with it in order to get it to work. I might even actually try turning some of it around, or I might just end up putting a little bit bigger block in that, but really. Alright, so that's the finished product. What I did was, for the time being, I just put a couple washers in there. That'll give me about 3/4 of an inch worth of clearance. Good enough till I can get another phenolic block for that front that's a little thicker. Definitely something that could be a little bit better. Fortunately, with the Garmin, you can see I'm able to feed the plug up through here, and I'll be able to take this plug cover off, so it comes up through the scupper hole and then goes underneath this bracket. Fortunately, with the size of this, the Garmin's cover comes off, so I don't have to remove this. Normally I think you'd have to remove that. We'll see how it goes. I'll get that cover off there. You can see it starting to come through there. I'll fish it up through. So it pops out of there, and inside there it has a little plug that you got to pull out. You just discard that. Fish tape everything down through, put it back in place, and the ultimate goal is to bring it over here, pop it up there, and hook it to your outfit. Mine happens to be a Garmin SV93 that we're installing on this today. So you can see with the Garmin, what's nice about the Garmin is you're able to get this up through tight areas fairly easily. And you can see their design is pretty unique because it has a tightening cap that can be removed, and I'll demonstrate that later. Alright, so I know this has been one of the complaints, is that hole not being big enough for some fittings, which you can tell it's definitely for the Garmin. It's easily going to fit in there. That's only because of their unique head design, so stay tuned. So all I'm doing now is just continuing to pull the cable through, just trying to get it through this first leg of its journey. I'm being really careful not to strip it on this, because it will. You have to be careful on edges like this. This is super sharp. That's one thing about this boat they did not get right. This is super sharp. Should not be that way. When anybody stretch the imagination, that's just a sliced hand waiting to happen. In fact, at some point that'll come off there, and I'll take the edges off that. Okay, first off, I love this boat. This is an awesome kayak. But this is strike one for anybody who's listening. This right here, it's simply too sharp to leave the way it is. Just putting this transducer cable in here, I've almost ripped my finger and almost cut myself 3 times. This right here, just what I took off, just from rubbing with this small precision file, just like that. That's taking the edge off this tremendously, where I can touch it now. This one I wouldn't dare do that with, and neither this one or any of these. They have not been deburred. For me, and that's just unacceptable, period. So what I'm doing is I'm just grabbing a couple little tools. I'm just running this along here, and I'm deburring it myself. It's just crazy that you got a $4,000 kayak and it's not being deburred. I don't know what to tell them, but I'm not slicing my finger on it. I guarantee you that. So if you don't have some of the precision tools, you could just take something like something designed for fishing, like this hook sharpener, and get rid of it. But you've got to be careful on this. It's going to either take your cable out, or it's going to take your finger out. That's a lot better. I can stick my fingers in there now without getting sliced. This one down here, still so sharp, it'll just slice you. So I'm going to do the same down here. I mean, you can almost see it. And I know what's happening is the supply chain is going so gangbusters because of COVID, but they're not taking the time to deburr these. And I'd deburr the whole thing. Just pretty sad. Right? But you can get yourself a variety of tools, something similar to this, and just helps you get in those edges. You grab a hold of this with your finger without doing this, you're going to lose a finger. And that's fact. Safety first. Those of you who've watched rigging videos before, you know fish tape can be helpful. And this is really tight in here, so there's a lot of gear in here because of the Mincona, I'm assuming. So we're going to be taking it very easy down in there. Alright, that's what we wanted to see. Gentle, whatever it is you need in there. Up front here for a battery. I think that's where the battery's going to go for the time being anyways. So I get this all figured out. So I'm leaving myself plenty of room to plug a battery in and out. Load myself about 14 to 18 inches worth of cable to get to the front or back of this track. So how it's going to be. Get that back mounted. I know one of the things y'all wanted to see was how easy that is to get that on there. So all you do is once you get it on, you get your O-ring back on. Boom. Put this in place there. Snaps right back together. And tighten this down on the unit. Pretty cool design actually. Allows you to be able to get stuff in these tight holes. Okay, I wanted to do a close-up of this because what it is, it's actually got a little plug that's like a scupper plug that you can put back in here, and I'm just tucking it in to help keep water out. Now because of the size cable, I was not able to get the cap back in this, but I think we're going to be okay with it just the way it is. It's got a seal around it, and then it's got this little plug. See how well it does with water. Okay, these are pretty small. That's what everybody's complaining about online. So what I did was I just dremelled this out, and I sliced the main one right down the center so the two cables would come through. It seems to be working out okay. That way I can use this cover. I've just got their little scupper plug in there. So that's probably the biggest complaint that I have seen online is this hole and holder is not large enough, so I came prepared to the game knowing what I was getting myself into, kind of thinking this through. So I wanted to be able to use the cover. Now I did not put the cover back on here just simply because it was too much of a hassle. I wanted to have the integrity of the holder. Here I wasn't too worried about cutting it. So we'll see how it does. You can always, you've seen the different types of mounts I use. We can always put a different type of mount. I'll tell you one thing about Yak Attack that I'm just so impressed with is this mount right here. The more I use it, the more I just fallen in love with it. It loosens up. Let's see how it works on this. Not bad. Let's just see what it looks like right there. So once we have it tightened down, what I really like is how quickly you're mounted up like that. I really like the ease and simplicity of mounting this up. It's just so cool. And it has the Panoptics features, if you ever want to add Panoptics to it. Wow. Clean and nice. Oh yeah. Yeah. I can bring it back towards me a little bit if I need to. Maybe keep it right there if I want to be standing. I like that. I don't think it's going to interfere at all with the Minn Kota. That's a close-up. What it ended up looking like the transducer mount. Not too bad. We'll fix that up a little bit too. Cool. Alright, try this real life hack on for size. All I'm doing is taking a cooler that's available. I'm going to utilize this for the extra battery storage compartment. And I'm going to set the battery in there for now. This is just temporary. I want something that's not going to slip around. So all I'm doing is feeding it through. Be careful along the cables because there's a bunch of them. This is real world. Real world stuff. Alright. So, are you ready? Remember red and black, these two go to your signal wires, so we're not using those. Negative first. Okay. On into the compartment you go. Sits nice and tight right in there. This one. I'm going to sit right into that compartment and zip it up. Echomap 93SV, US Lakes. Oh yeah. Loading maps. Step 1 to building the ultimate kayak. Install the ultimate fish finder. You know I love them all. Garmin's got a special place in my heart. Oh yeah.